June 29th, 2026, CERN shut down its particle collider.
My youngest daughter has been having a lot of interactions, we'll say.
So we have Elon Musk claiming again he's an alien. But that's not even the weird part.
I went to Antarctica twice.
I know, but something's going on with you personality-wise.
Hey, Segovia, back with another one. Hope everyone out there is having a good day. Y'all make sure you guys watch from start to finish. As you guys already know, that helps the channel grow. But with that being said, let's do what we came here for. Let's get into it.
My youngest daughter has been having a lot of interactions, we'll say.
What? Tell me.
She just keeps saying,
How old is she?
She's 3.
And what did she say to you?
She's like, he sings to me at night.
Mm.
And
Really?
yeah.
Wow. And how do you respond to that?
You know, it's because I'm like, okay, you just being a kid, like, is this your so I'm like, oh, that's awesome. What's he singing to you? And I kind of, I don't make a big deal out of it. But yeah, it's I'm supportive of it. But it's weird because I instantly go, just having kids, they have imaginations and stuff. But like, she's saying things which I'm like, how do you know that? Like, I haven't said that. You haven't, like, where have you?
It's
where's
funny
that come
to me
from?
that you are a believer, yet your go-to is being a little bit skeptical.
Just because I know the imagination of kids.
Right.
But is it the imagination or is it the openness of kids? And then as we get older and become more skeptical and we think
Brainwashed
in conspiracies or coincidence.
I think it's for her, the more that she brings it up and that it's becoming like a thing, the more I'm like, okay, like this isn't just her imagination.
It's all fake. I don't think that any history before 1600, I think everything has been falsified before the year 1600.
How so?
If you look on very, very old maps, you see that there used to be a country called Tartaria that was in existence. And at a certain point, all of history has been changed. About 1,000 years have been added to the timeline in order to justify land claims. And those land claims largely have to do with the Eurasian horde and the elimination of the Eurasian horde. Rome and Greece and and Egypt were actually active till around 1600, and then Rome actually fell around 1492,
as opposed to what's the conventional timeline?
About 1,000 years before. If you can wrap your head around it, the Salem witch trials took place around the same time as the Inquisition. Columbus was discovering America around the time Rome fell, and that all of this was designed to justify or to erase this entire civilization from history.
Doritos are engineered. $20 million just for a lab, just to create Doritos. And they go for the bliss point, and that's the right amount of fat and carbohydrates and sugar and crunch, and then chemical processes they put in there to stimulate different parts of the brain.
And monitoring right? Monitoring those brain signals.
And what they don't measure is taste. So that you think, okay, how are they going to test? They're going to get 20 people in the room, say, everybody, which one do you like better, this one or this one? Don't do any of that. What those labs have are MRI machines. So they will put you in an MRI machine and they will measure what part of your brain lights up. So it's not even about nutrition. It's not about natural craving. It's not about natural desire. It's a chemical addictive thing. And they have created Doritos.
Water is running critically low. So the one thing I do agree with Trump on is the USWR he has coming in July, and I think many Americans will become millionaires off.
Yo, is Obama talking about the United States Water Reserve here on Coinbase right now? I mean, I'm seeing screenshots of Trump and Obama united for the Water Reserve plan. What? You go on earth.org and see that 9.3 trillion liters of water, UN reports, exposes unfathomable footprint of data centers as AI booms. Are humans gonna die of thirst? They're seeing the world leaders met at G7 and all agreed that water is gonna be tokenized. It's gonna be a tradable asset. So my homies checked BlackRock's portfolio and found that they're holding a token called USWR. I looked up the website and it says it's scheduled for announcement on July 29th, and we already have the token on Coinbase. So I put money in around 10,000 just in case if this gets announced to the public, this could go crazy. My 10,000 could 1,000x, which means 10 million. Make sure if you look the token up on Coinbase and you want to jump in, this is the contract address. Comment water and I'll DM you the contract address.
I mean, it's pennies on the dollar, y'all. You throw 20 bucks in it and it goes to 100,000. You're a multimillionaire, right? It's probably a money grab from these politicians, because when has a Democrat ever come out, especially for Trump, and say, it's a money grab for both of them? Probably. But $20 is coffee money for most people out there. What if they're telling the truth? You'd be a millionaire off
If you can't
$20.
find it, or I'll have it pinned. This is not financial advice. It's a token I'm looking at, showing
If
you
it
guys
goes to
always
the
do your own
moon.
research. Let's see what happens. It should be this one. All you got to do is search it up. United States Water Reserve.
Immediately after the Boston Marathon bombing in 2013, researchers from UC Irvine, they studied two groups. Now, the first group, these were people who binged watched news about the bombing for at least 6 hours a day. So bombing happens, they immediately turn on CNN or Fox, and they just start binge watching bombing coverage. The second group, these were people who were actually at the Boston Marathon. They were either running in it or they were watching it. The bomb went off right at the race where they were at. And the researchers found that the people who watched the news weren't actually at the bombing, but they just watched the news. They had higher rates of PTSD and they had higher rates of trauma compared to the people who were actually at the bombing. That is insane. That is absolutely insane. And what does it tell us? It tells us maybe don't spend so much time taking in negative news. It actually affects us.
I went to Antarctica twice.
I know, but something's going on with you personality-wise.
Over the course of this 2 years, I went to Antarctica twice. I went to so many crazy places. Yeah.
Wait, you went to...
I'm going back in March.
Wait, you went to Antarctica?
I'm going for the third time in March.
Did you go through Chile, like Tierra
I
del
did one
Fuego?
time through Chile and Punta Serenas, and we took a flight from the bottom tip there, and then once I went through Ushuaia in Argentina on the other side.
Wow, you're really real.
And we rode over Drake's
You're really
Passage. Took my parents.
Really?
I got deathly seasick 2 days. But no, the Drake's Passage is the biggest shipyard graveyard. The biggest shipyard. So over 1,000 ships have crashed.
Was it scary to do that? Were
Very
were
scary.
you afraid that it might be you?
Well, I was thinking I put my parents' lives at risk. Something like that. Yeah.
That's Drake's
It's
Passage.
super gnarly.
Wow, that's gnarly.
That's
Was
Jaime's
it
worst fear.
like that when you were there?
Yeah, I mean, the whole time it's shaky. They have a pretty good gyroscope on the boat, which allows it so it doesn't shake. But there was dishes falling over. There's like pieces of the equipment. Most of the stuff is like locked in, but there's pieces that fell over in our room. I mean, you're just really sick the whole time. You know, you have to take a bunch of Dramamine.
Why don't you just go to Hawaii? Or
I know, right?
No?
I don't know. I love Antarctica. It's probably one of the most special places. It's the last place not ruined by humans, so it's a magical place.
What happened to you?
I went to Antarctica twice.
I know, but something's going on with you personality-wise.
I've heard of the back.
Sounds like he's saying without saying, like, I saw the truth, right? I went to Antarctica twice. He's saying pretty much like, I saw it. That's what it looks like to me reading it.
Wrong.
I've heard of the back room.
Listen, did you know right now that if I was to walk through this wall, it's possible? I gotta meditate and get on the exact same frequency as this wall. But you know what happened if I slip, I get stuck. If one atom fall, I become that wall, right? So I don't think you understand this. They have seen this, certain things happen and make portals just open up and people walk through them without even knowing, right? And listen, and they will be in another reality and think they're still in this reality. They don't even know what's going on, right? I'm gonna say this, a lot of people don't understand this. A lot of people died during COVID and they not here, right? They in different realities, but the people that's here, that's in their body are shells. Right? During COVID time, they switched out a lot of bodies. That's why I had a lot of people in the house. A lot of people was dying, and they were switching out a lot of people's bodies, but they weren't actually dying. They were switching timeline. Right? And it's true. Like this is common. Right? You have done it 2 to 3 times in this lifetime. You don't even recognize it.
I feel like a lot of people, like, I had like 2 record deals, right? Mm-hmm. And
they wanted your butt?
Yeah.
wait, hold on.
He said, yo.
Hold on.
Yeah. What?
Smart.
Yeah, what happened?
You was fucking with G-Unit. Look, he ain't smoked nothing, bro. Hold on. You ain't blink. Jesus, okay.
There was a lot of it like funding rap music. Like, this is crazy. People have long said that rap music, even though, listen, you love hip hop. I know you just got back from Kanye West. I'm a huge hip hop fan.
We got to talk about that at some point.
We definitely do. I love hip hop. But there's some people that believe that gangsta rap in particular, when it came about in the 1980s, was a part of the push to popularize it and produce it was a part of the government, some faction of the government, some intelligence agencies wanting to create more crime, wanting to fill more private prisons, wanting to erode the fabric of society so they could push for more laws to keep you safer. This is like one of the most tinfoil-y of tinfoil hat conspiracies. But people are pointing out that right now it's like one of the rare times where no rap music is on the charts. Yeah. And they're saying, well, how does this coincide with U.S. aid? Was U.S. aid like actively promoting rap music? Was that one of the reasons why rap music was so popular? Is that real? That can't be real.
Maybe back in the day. It seems like that would be more manipulative. I don't see how.
I believed that until I heard mumble rap. And I'm like, this is not real. This is trying to make people stupid.
Yeah.
There's something about this, you know. Right. And obviously some artists are better at it than others. Some of them are fun the way they do it. But I'm saying there's a giant chunk of them that are inaudible. Mm-hmm. You don't know what they're like. Who's into this?
Oh, almost all of them are inaudible.
Like what's going on there? Imagine if that was it. It was like people heard Nas and like, this guy's too smart. We got to dumb it down a little.
Right.
We got to promote some people that could barely talk.
Yeah.
We got to promote some people that are on cough syrup, apparently.
Yeah.
Right. And that's what they did, right? That's what they did. They got rid of all the Nas's. They got rid of all the, you know, you name it, all the conscience rappers. That was big. They got rid of all that. Started paying people. This is how you have to rap. This is how you have to rap. But I would love to see a graph of like crime and prison among minorities from the 80s to like the 90s when gangster rap took off. I would really like to see that graph. I bet you it skyrockets.
Technology is so high, right?
Right.
So if you shoot somebody, you go to jail forever. So the kids, you don't want to go to jail forever, right? So they got this new thing out there. People sell them all the time. They got this stuff they call, they get blood from somebody with AIDS. Yeah. And then they shoot you with it.
Oh,
so
well, that seems bad.
That's a slow death.
Yeah.
An easy thing, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh, no.
Now, Serge Knight raised eyebrows during an interview with Jimmy Kimmel after making a controversial comment that many believed was a subliminal reference to Eazy-E's death. While Eazy-E's passing was officially ruled as compilation from ads, theories have circulated for years suggesting foul play. Now, some viewers see such remark as suspicious, others believe it was a poor test joke. Now, either way, this clip continues to fuel long-standing speculation about what really happened. Now, in memory of Eazy-E, watch this clip.
Why is that? What made you give up that lifestyle? I didn't give it up. You didn't give it up.
They have sensors in the ball, and the sensor is the reason why that goal was disallowed. That's the first time that we've seen that in a game. This literally comes down to if this comes off of enough of Renato Vega's hair to determine whether or not Croatia goes through or not. I mean, that is a level of detail that I don't think the founders of the game really had in mind.
I think that people need monsters.
Tell me why.
Like, the world needs monsters. There used to be a time, let's say 1,000 years ago, up to 20,000 years ago, where we would be sitting by the fire, and from the darkness, a creature would come in, saber-toothed cat, you know, and any number of megafauna that were carnivorous, or if you're in Australia, one of those 20-foot lizards that were running around at the time, and they would grab one of your friends and probably drag them back into the darkness, and you would hear them being eaten.
You talking about like a reptilian?
Well, they're around too. You know, but whatever the creature is.
I mean, you said a 20-foot lizard.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that was a creature that used to be in Australia. They had run-ins with people because they existed at the same time. I digress. So, but that concept of...
Hold on.
Yes.
We can't skip this. 20-foot... You understand how tall 20 foot is?
You know what? Well, not tall, long.
Okay, you guys, let's get weird. So... just a few days ago, CERN turns off, and I don't know if it's just me, but the days seem slower. Call me crazy, I don't know. Is it the fact that we are aware that it turned off for the next 4 years, going into 2030, or is it really slowing down time? That is the question. And if you don't know what CERN is, it is a project based in Switzerland, It's a collective of multiple countries coming together to build this thing called the Large Hadron Collider. Now, what does it do? It takes subatomic particles and smashes them together almost at the speed of light. The reason they made this is because to replicate the Big Bang and find out the secrets of the universe, studying dark matter, etc. And I'm getting a ton of messages where people are saying, hey, why does the day feel slower? And I can attest to that. Not to mention, there's been reports at CERN where they said they've been opening up or creating microscopic black holes. So that sounds safe. Now, this shutdown is very interesting because they shut down the same day we had a strawberry full moon. And this seems to be a literal ritual only because pattern recognition. Remember a couple years ago where we had that crazy eclipse on April 8th, 2024? They were running experiments the same day, and not to mention Peter Higgs, who discovered the God particle in which CERN actually found later, dies on that same day. Then there was a bunch of weird, crazy stories that happened on that day of the eclipse. I mean, does nobody find it pretty odd that they have a statue of Shiva in front of CERN where they did rituals and Shiva represents destruction and rebirth? And I think people tend to forget that the science community was actually against this because there's been multiple lawsuits against CERN trying to shut it down, but to no avail, being that we're not in that group, America. And another fun fact, since CERN has started in 2008, that's when the Mandela effect actually started. This was actually founded by Fiona Broome. She wrote a book on the Mandela effect after it fired up. I mean, you guys, we can all agree that Smokey the Bear was always Smokey the Bear, and now it's just Smokey Bear. What? I don't know. All in all, let me know what you guys think. Is time moving slower for you, or is it just a placebo effect? Let me know.
What do you guys think? Is time moving slower for you? For me, I feel like time's flying by. I feel like my days are just going super quick. What do you guys think?
And Wayfair, all that shit was true.
What was the Wayfair accusation again?
People were buying kids off Wayfair. And 100% I think they were. I have any doubt that they were. You got a cabinet and it's got a kid's name that costs 30 grand and it's sub IKEA quality. That's a child. It coincides when unaccompanied minors could come into the country under Biden and then. You know, we have 300,000 illegal kids missing still, right? Yeah, they're still missing. Any word on them?
No.
300,000? That seems like a lot of children. Wait a minute.
Crazy.
We're being spied on 24 hours a day. You have a smart washing machine that watches you shower, but we can't find 300,000 missing kids? That's strange. They must have wanted that to happen.
Well, y'all, that's true, y'all. I'm telling you guys, like, I don't know if I should be saying this. I've said it before, but I knew somebody that worked in the, like I was in El Paso, y'all. I was in El Paso, so I was right there at the border. So they had all these, like ice camps. They had one that I could literally walk to from the house I lived at, right there, right at the border of New Mexico and El Paso. I lived right there. But anyways, I knew somebody that was working in there, and they said like these young ones would be birthed, and they would take them, and they would never bring them back to the mom. Or, a guard would impregnate somebody and they would just take the young one, y'all. Like, this was going on. This was going on. Or ones that were by themselves, they'd take them on a bus. I don't know, y'all. I don't want to talk too much because it's sometimes topics get scary, right? But I heard that was going on at those camps. Just saying.
The Elon.
Allegedly.
Did you hear him the other day?
No.
He said, if you're saving money, don't.
Hmm.
You don't need any. I'm like, what's he talking about? Dude talking about a trillionaire talking, you don't need it. He supposedly said in 5 or 10 years, there'll be universal income.
Really?
Where it's not basic. It's you don't need any money in 5 or 10 years. You won't need money. I'm like, what is this guy talking about?
Interesting.
I wish I knew him. You Google it and you'll see the article.
I will.
He's basically saying in 5 or 10 years, you don't need money for anything. Everyone will have plenty of everything they need. So if you're saving money, you're wasting your time.
Wow.
And I'm like, well, dude, I've been doing that for 30 years. And that's why if it turns out like that, I would say it's God looking out for me.
Yeah.
Because he knows I've been wasting some time.
So if we don't need money, they're going to be in complete control. Complete control. You're going to have everything you need. So we're going to have all the food we need, all the water. When we just had a clip of Obama saying water's running out, We're going to be okay with water. We're going to be okay with food. Like, there's something about this guy, y'all. I just can't stand. I don't like him. Save your money. Save your money.
Elon Musk claiming again he's an alien. But that's not even the weird part. The weird part is not Elon Musk claiming that he's an alien. It's the video I made 2 years ago where I showed you that his birthday on his Twitter said that he was like 5000 BC. And 5000 BC just happens to be kind of around the time that all the angels fell from heaven. You know, they're following Lucifer out of heaven. So the real question is, how many exactly are there among us? We'll circle back to that in just 1 second. So right before we touch on the alien thing, let's look at what he's been doing the entire time. He's completely obsessed with space, with getting to Mars and all these different places. Is that not weird to you? How about his placement in society right now with artificial intelligence and some things looking exactly like Skynet coming? Actually, it wasn't 2 years ago, it was 3 years ago. I made the video with a whole bunch of similarities between Elon and, you know, what we would call a fallen angel. So is he really an alien? Well, kind of, technically. He's definitely an alien to this earth and this realm, isn't he? The funniest part is they literally put it right in your face and people still won't accept the fact that what they're telling you is true. What they call aliens has already been here and they've been telling you for as long as time itself. I mean, really, what is an alien but a foreign person? And what's foreign to this earth? Well, heaven. Heaven would be foreign, so anything from heaven would be considered an alien. Now circling back to the how many among us question. Well, The Simpsons, as we know, shows real life in the future all the time, did show this right here.
You do know the Greek word for actor, right?
Uh-oh.
Okay.
Bring it back.
Let me go ahead and mess you up.
Bring it back.
Greek word for actor is hypocrites. That's where we get hypocrite from. Now, I'm not saying actors are hypocrites. The emphasis is you're playing a role. You're not being you. And the devil is the ultimate actor. The ultimate actor. Which, by the way, he's assigned one of his subordinates to Hollywood. The Greeks knew him as Dionysus. The Romans called him Bacchus. He's the god of the theater. The god of entertainment.
You just made me think about something. That award that they give, or I don't know, it's the symbol I think of when they show theater. They always show the mask.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yep.
That is the symbol of acting. Wearing a mask, playing a role.
If you took a GPS away now from people, nobody would ever get to work on time. Nobody would find the fucking place they're supposed to have a meeting, because you also can't stop at a gas station anymore.
Yep.
I mean, you know, remember when you didn't know where the fuck you were and you'd stop over at the gas station and you'd go, yeah, I'm trying to get to 1625 Wilson Street. You know where that is? It's supposed to be by like the sawmill. Some guy would go, yeah, okay. Yeah, what you going to want to do?
He would take pride in being able to give you directions.
Right, absolutely.
Yeah, it was a big thing. Like a guy who could give you directions to place, that's a cool guy.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm going to tell you how to get there.
Yeah.
This is what you get. You get on the 405. You're going to get on exit 16.
Right. Yeah, they knew that shit.
Yeah.
I mean, I know LA inside and out. I could be a cab driver there, but, or I should say Uber driver now, I guess. But
yeah, no cabs anymore.
But one way or the other, if you're someplace else, I mean, I use it too. It's like, but if you took GPS away, it would run people batshit crazy.
Yep.
So it really would, y'all. And even like, not even just directions. Like I went to Best Buy one day to get, it's called a dummy battery for my camera. That way, I don't use my battery and I can let this thing go for 24 hours if I wanted to live stream, right? It's just a battery that plugs into the wall. I went to Best Buy, y'all. Like Best Buy, they used to help you. They used to have knowledge. The people on the floor, they used to like, you know what, this one works even better than that. You know what I mean? But I went and this lady didn't even know what the heck a dummy battery was. She was looking on the Best Buy website and I was like, what the heck, y'all? Like they're just hiring like anybody now. No knowledge, no geek squad.
People in my comment section have been specifically asking about the pink that is going on around their eyes. These, of course, are the 4 people that were arrested in the Benton County horror house. If you haven't already read what the sheriff and authorities saw at this house, then this wouldn't make sense to you, but they said that they saw human feces everywhere, that there was bacteria and dirt and just clutter everywhere. When the sheriff saw the young children, he said that they looked like feral animals.
This is very, it was terrible. I mean, they really, it looked like almost feral animals. It was terrible.
These kids have not seen the light of day. They don't go outside. They haven't communicated with other humans. Some of these children can't even speak. He describes the 18-year-old as disabled, not able to spell their own name. He's basically like, if you guys are asking me questions about these children and their education, this is on a whole different wavelength. These kids have not been educated. They don't even really know or understand schooling. The look in these people's faces and in these people's eyes is as if they are living and are from a different planet. They've been living in toxicity for years. So this pink around their eyes is completely normal considering the environment that they were in.
There is a heat wave going on right now in Europe, and people are they're passing away.
That's crazy. They're jumping in rivers. People are fighting. No, literally, they're fighting like Black Friday to fight for fans, and they don't have any AC.
So there's reports in France to where it's hitting temperatures upwards to like 110. Same thing in Germany. They said in the last 24 hours in Paris alone, 109 people died. They died from heat stroke, drowning. This is abnormal though, because obviously what's been happening in Venezuela, the earthquakes and whatnot, that's unheard of.
Before we get into that, I just want to play a clip from somebody that I know that's on the ground there and been kind of telling me what's going on over there.
Right.
It's true. People are trying to get like fresh water. They're like jumping into the river called Seine and they die because of don't know how to swim. It's crazy. It's just getting crazy. And they are finding like many people dead in the houses because it was too hot and that's crazy.
Damn. So this is happening across Europe. They're having this heat wave. And then not only that, we're having these earthquakes around the world, right? We had Japan, Philippines, Venezuela. So something's going on with the earth. Here's the thing with Europe. Our good old friend, Bill Gates of hell.
Oh, shit.
Guess what he invested into? He invested into a geoengineering project. They spray something in the sky and it has some type of reflective component to it to where when heat hits it, it actually doesn't go down. It reflects back up into space.
And then we see that they have some shit called earthquake lights now.
So, okay, there's literal video that people have been posting all around the world when these earthquakes are happening to where right before an earthquake happens, there's lights in the sky. It's like flashing and these weird lights. And it's like you see it over a mountain and these red lights and all different types. It happened in Turkey.
Earthquakes don't have lights since when?
So it could have something to do with geoengineering or some type of UFO intervention, something, because there's even reports and video to where they saw during the California fires. These black ghostly looking things are flying around.
You already know what I'm going to say.
What?
Ask Me the Movie.
Okay.
Mothman Prophecies.
Oh, okay.
It looked like a big moth, but it was all black. And it's at disasters.
So these beings that we're seeing, it could be some type of UFO technology to where if they are using it, maybe these like kind of apparitions kind of appear because we're using their tech.
I mean, it's kind of like the orb thing too, where they were seeing this orb. Oh, that was Israel. The orb came down, then another orb came down, and then they shot up.
I think it could be something of the sorts, some type of something that's prophesizing or summoning, but it's weird that we have these earthquake lights and then these earthquakes happen.
So the earthquake happens on the ground, and then I see some lights in the sky.
I don't know.
That's what I'm saying.
That's what I'm saying. It's some bullshit.
How the fuck that works? It's bullshit.
It's extremely important that people get out of the stuck in the mud, narrow view frame of mind. I can tell you that over the last 17 to 18 years that I've been doing research, I have discovered that our normal, everyday concept of reality is an illusion.
This was 91.
It is a manipulation in most instances of the power structure that really runs this country and the world to keep us ignorant so that we won't know what the truth is. I can tell you that when George Bush says out of the Middle East crisis will come a new world order, he is not joking. And the new world order is not what you think it is. Friendly nations working together. It's going to be a one world, totalitarian, socialist government. Some of the reasons for this are good, some of them are not. I can tell you that there is a hidden secret technology that is astounding, resembles nothing less than sheer magic. Would literally set us free, enable us to cure most diseases, if not all, give us probably a source of, if not free energy, very close to free energy, very inexpensive energy, which we need very badly.
The heart attack gun, they actually declassified that in 1972, 73. And it was made during the Cold War. And it caused cardiac arrest. So they shoot a dart, hits you, melts in your body like ice. Melted ice. Causes cardiac arrest, leaves nothing, like you said, like a stab wound or nothing. You can't tell and just fall over and die from a heart attack. So if they had that back then, what do they have now?
The one person that I trust is Dick Gregory.
Didn't he say Michael Jackson was killed by laser beams? He said he got hit with a laser.
That's exactly what he said.
Now, sounds far-fetched, but now we see, again, we have DEW, direct energy weapons.
Everything we see, everything we may hear, everything that we're fed through a phone, through media, through a TV, through a radio, whatever it may be, could be all to deceive.
He flew a drone over Little St. James. And as he flies around, he brings the drone over roughly the middle of the island-ish, and there's some side-by-sides sitting there. And the drone is positioned above these side-by-sides, and there's someone in one of the side-by-sides, in the driver's seat, who leans forward and looks up at the drone, and then goes back in that side-by-side. And that person looked like an older gentleman with gray hair that met my threshold of this should be looked at. This is post-death. And let me tell you something about that island, because I've been to it. If you wanted to hide somewhere, these intelligence people will hide in plain sight. It wouldn't be a bad option, especially if you have to clean up some loose ends with your computers or technical infrastructure. No one's going to think you're alive. And even if I came forward and I said, he's alive and he's on that island, people would laugh at me. Yep. No way, man. No way. And the only way that you wouldn't have privacy is if someone has an aerial shot of you. It seems really unlikely, but this guy did. He flew this drone over, and you can watch this footage on Rumble. It's been taken down all over the internet. This is post-death and pre-AI, which meets our criteria. If it's after he died and before the introduction of large language models, which can edit images, you take all of these now in totality, the passport, conditions in the jail cell, the option with the fewest problems of the three is that he left that cell alive.
You know, actually, the word got back to me. So about 2 years ago, the U.S. government was using my music to actually use torture techniques on people. I'm not kidding. I'm not kidding. I wish I could say.
Which one?
All of them.
What's it? Hit us.
Well, this one specifically. So Life Goes On was one, and then Miss You, and then there was Alien Boy and Hurt.
Would you say your music is comparable to being tied down and forced to eat shit while your children are tortured?
Well, it's funny you actually asked that. So there was a something that came back to me, and apparently the U.S. military was using it for torture techniques.
That makes complete sense. I mean, so did they pay you? Did they pay you for that?
I believe I get money off the streaming revenue from Spotify. I don't think I'm getting paid directly, as in like on the back end.
It's so weird. Like, I mean, we've been doing these videos. I don't know, like 400 or 500 in the playlist. I have yet to get one. I've never heard of Oliver Tree. And this is how he's talking, y'all. He would have hit my algorithm by now. It's just so weird that after he so-called passes in a helicopter crash, he starts popping up all over my feed. Like, he talks about the topics we talk about here. Like, why has he never popped up on a video? Has he? And I got comments from you guys saying, I've never heard of this guy. Like, has he popped up on any other reactors channels like in the past? Because, he talks about what we put in these videos. Like, he would have popped up on my algorithm. But after he passes, now he's popping up. And he's popping up in Brazil, like saying he's alive. And something fishy with this guy, y'all. I don't know.
Africa Bambaataa. He just died. He coined the term hip hop, started his own religion, convinced his followers that he was a god. He got tied up with this pedophile cult. He would take advantage of his most loyal fans. They worshipped him like a god, and the guy was eventually accused of something like 100+ allegations of child abuse, children. So they moved to Georgia to try to escape that stuff. They built their own replica of Egyptian pyramid, the Sphinx. This was just in the middle of nowhere, this cult compound.
That's what did it. They've been trying to figure out, okay, we have all this waste from the refineries. Well, in the early 1910s, 1920s, they called all of the chemists together and was like, hey, how can
we use this and they end up making all of these things, and they turned a lot of our pills and medicine into carbon or methylene based or oil based from all the refinery.
One of the things that I came across was sirens were behind the music industry. Like they were using samples of siren songs and trying to match melodies around them or whatever
to get people
frequency.
hooked on certain songs to make people like them more type shit. Like
Yeah, so the chorus, you know, you fill in the words with whatever the harmony is because the harmony they know is going to be hypnotizing naturally, right?
And they also try to make it like a certain frequency, right?
That's not fair for all the independent artists out there trying to
No, it's
fucking,
not,
you know
man.
what I'm saying?
And shit, why can't they help me out, you know?
And for the resilience of our spirit. As our president and vice president embrace their newly appointed roles, we humbly implore that your everlasting love and wisdom.
President Trump, to stand beside him, to hold up his arms like Aaron held up the arms of Moses in the midst of battle. The prophet Samuel reminded the people, it was you that brought them up from the land of Egypt. And he said, now stand still. It again, if we turn our backs on you. We ask for your help, and we pray all of this in the name of the King of Kings.
As we embark on this new chapter, we also seek your comfort, O God, for those who feel lost or disheartened.
Pray for Drewski, y'all. Man, I hope he comes out of this. I never thought I'd see the day, you know, like, he was doing so good. He has so many good clips going on, so just keep Drewski in your prayers.
God will not be mocked. Y'all take a look at this video.
What goes up must come down, amen? Amen. Release these shackles. Oh, man. Amen. Y'all should be seated. Get seated. Get seated. In the word of God, make some noise. Let's go. Amen. Somebody getting impregnated with the word of God in here. In the front row right here. Where Lotto at? Impregnated with the word of God. Tiana Taylor, where you at? Impregnated with the word of God. All right. Hey. Y'all getting carried away. We just started. Come on now. I ain't got no money for all that. Amen. What a mighty God we serve. Amen. Get fine.
This is the neural chip. It's going to allow us to communicate with telepathy, with people, and with robots. No thank you. I'm here at the Museum of the Future in Dubai. This right here, this system, is the first payment implant under your skin for contactless payment. There's a reason that Neo and John Connor tried to take out the robots of the future, because artificial intelligence is here. Yesterday I visited the Museum of the Future located in Dubai, which is architecturally stunning, but it's more of an immersive experience than a museum. The opening date on the space shuttle that you launch from is 2/22/2071 in the future. 2/22 is my son's birthday. Part of the exhibit was preserving life. They have 2,000 different species that are located in jars that are to extract DNA. It very much gave Jurassic Park vibes. And had an octopus, or as I call Cousin Bubba, the alien. They had fragments of actual spaceships in there. Here's me on NPC mode. One of the booths you could actually choose to take a mission to go to space, which I would do anytime, if space is even real. But getting back to what I said about robots trying to take over the future, this is a peregrine falcon along with a spider and the robot dog that are designed to collect data. And as you know, the peregrine falcon is the fastest bird in the world that they would use as drones. Now, it's a beautiful museum, and I was always fascinated by technology, but no.
When I see people say that space is fake,
Right.
I don't blame them because they're watching digital mock-ups
Right.
of everything.
Right.
But Agartha is a real thing, man.
Right. And space is a real thing.
Space is a real thing.
But it's full of water.
Now, see, this the thing with that.
Yeah, it's full of water.
I feel like dark matter and water could be very similar to each other.
You very intelligent.
They could be very similar to each other because maybe they train NASA astronauts in giant pools.
Mm-hmm.
And then,
Why?
because that's the only way to mimic space.
Right. Water.
So that's why when I hear gravity's not real,
but gravity still takes place. Just telling people space and the ocean the same. I'm not going to say space and the ocean are the same, but I believe that there is a barrier, and that's where the term firmament comes from.
I can just give them small examples. The sun rises on the east at the same time every day. It sets on the west at the same time every single day. The seasons never fail to go in their seasons, ever, never. These are biological clocks of the earth inside of your body, whether you like it or not. Your body starts releasing melatonin at 9:30, whether you like it or not. When you wake up in the rising, whether you like it or not, around 6 to 7, your body releases serotonin. So we see that we have biological circadian rhythms here on earth and in our bodies. My question is this: who set the clock? If there is no God, who set the calendar? If there is no God, who set the actual clock? Then you start looking at, things that happens on a micro scale and a macro scale, as above, so below. When we start looking at our internal bodies, it's just too complex. It have to be God. And then about 15 years ago, they started digging around in DNA, and they found an actual code inside of our DNA, as if a manufacturing company stamped us before it created us. And y'all can just look this up, that your DNA actually have a written code in it in every cell of your body. Who written that code?
There is no job worth $2 million a year. That's why they pay athletes these fantastic salaries. I was listening to the radio the other day. They just contracted to pay one player on one team $6 million a year. And why is that? It's the Roman circus. What does the emperor do when the people become restive, and when the people are asking questions, and when the people don't like the policies of the emperor? He sends them to the circus. He creates a circus. He builds a giant coliseum, and he begins to throw the Christians to the lions, and he has great chariot races and football games, basketball games, all to keep the idiots preoccupied with things that don't mean anything in the scheme of the entire world, so that they don't have the time to learn what the truth is, so they don't ever get smart enough to learn how they're being manipulated, so they don't ever question the emperor. When 150 of the most powerful men and women in the world can meet in secret in Baden-Baden, Germany, and plot the fate of billions, and nobody even cares about it, but 6 football players go to lunch together, and it's in the headlines across the country, you have a reflection of the society in which that exists.
Comedian Tracy Morgan tells Oprah he believes he went to heaven when he was in a comatose state, where he encountered his long-deceased father.
Tracy Morgan, famous comedian and actor, very funny guy. He goes through something.
I think he was literally in a coma when he has this experience.
Talking to my dad. I just remember him saying, "I'm not ready for you, son."
Really?
And I started crying so hard.
He said, and then on that other side, we have this ant farm next to us. And Earth is the ant farm. And every once in a while, the homebody 20 planets away needs some fresh DNA, and they pluck some out. I've heard that before.
Yep.
What can you say?
It's unfalsifiable. It's a great theory.
Yeah.
I lean toward simulation theory. Speaking of science and physics, you brought in a couple of these missing scientists, right?
Yeah.
They're in the news, and we've got 4 men here. They're all German scientists, right?
Yes, sir.
What happened to these guys?
So here's the intriguing part behind this. First of all, I came up with this on my own about 4 or 5 years ago. 3 out of the 4 are from Germany. The young man on the far left, he got a special scholarship because of his brilliance, Fulbright scholar, to come to the States and study graduate level physics. He disappeared in Olympic National Park January 20th, 1992. He was a genius. Alioth Crost, the second man, was here for a physics conference in Los Angeles and he went to Lake Arrowhead for the conference. He was a university professor of physics in Germany, 62 years old. He went on a hike with some people sponsored by the conference. As they go on the hike, there's like 20 people. He starts to feel ill. This is something I talk about in missing persons cases. If you and I are out together, sometimes one of us will get sick and say, hey, you go on, I'm going to wait here, that point of separation. He sits down, there's a guide at the front of the pack, a guide at the back. The guide at the back also doesn't feel good. So he and Cross both sit down. Cross says, I feel better. And he takes off, and the other guy says, well, I'll meet up. Croft took off and never was found again. Bingo, gone. Reinhard Kirchner, he worked for a company called GSI Corporation. He's a physicist. He was studying heavy ion research. They had an accelerator where they bring in physicists from all over the world. He was here on vacation. He landed in Vancouver, rented a cab over camper, drove down to the little Colorado River Gorge, and went for a hike. He had been there the year before. He was by himself, disappeared, never found again. Carl Dish, this missing May 8th, 65, at the Bird Ice Station in Antarctica. He was an ionospheric physicist, originally from Wisconsin, working for Boulder Labs, the National Bureau of Standards. He was walking between buildings there.
In Antarctica?
Antarctica, during a storm, and they have ropes that you hold on to. He'd been there for a long time. He knew the gig. Somehow or another, he got off the rope and he disappeared. Now, the interesting part about that is that there were rumors, and you could look this up, that there were lights in the skies seen, and supposedly he called into the ice station years later and says, hey, I'm alive.
The concession game in movie theaters in Mexico is you can't say USA #1 anymore.
Well,
after you've been to these places.
You can't say that for a lot of reasons anymore. China's just beating us overall. Mexico's got us in movie snacks. You know?
Okay, first of all, you split the popcorn down the middle whenever you want, just like a Garrett's popcorn, you know? So you can get 2 different flavors. What are the flavors? Obviously, there's butter. Obviously, there's plain with salt. Obviously, there's kettle corn. There's also Doritos, Cheetos. Doritos and Cheetos popcorn.
Oh my God, this is incredible.
Doritos flavored popcorn with crumbled up Dorito pieces in it.
Fuck.
Same with Cheetos.
How are they beating us at snacks? That's the one thing America should have.
Dude, they care.
That's what pissed me off about Ireland. Their spice bag.
You know, it's so crazy. Like out in El Paso at the movie theater, they give you jalapenos with your popcorn. Like they don't do that out here in Arizona. They give you jalapeno. I don't know if you can ask for it, but out there they just give it to you. And it's a damn good combo. Or when you go, I don't know if they do this at Texas Roadhouse everywhere, but out in Texas Roadhouse, I forget what they're called, but you know, they'll give you grilled jalapenos to have with your steak, right? Every time I cook a steak, anything, y'all, I grill me a jalapeno, take a bite of the jalapeno. That's just what I do, y'all, or serrano pepper or something. But, you know, that's what they do out there. You know, it's just a culture thing. I don't know if I can go to Texas Roadhouse out here and ask for that. But it out there, it's just something they give you with, you know, your meal, some jalapenos.
Here, guys, just FIFA president and Howard Lutnick, one of Jeffrey Epstein's best friends, hanging out watching the USA game last night. In case you needed further proof that all sports are bred in circuses to the Epstein class, here he is at the NBA Finals game next to DJ Calorie and Sloppy Joe. People have said that this Epstein email is fake about NBA scripts, but keep in mind this email was found and came out before the New York Knicks won the NBA championship, and it lists all the other ones correctly as well. Regardless of what you believe, this is guilt by association. Pedos hang out with other pedos. Let's wake up.
I want to ask you a question because you're into all this fucking crazy shit. I saw somewhere recently, and this just goes along with that feeling, that euphoric feeling you get when the right notes or frequencies hit you. I saw that through sound, certain frequencies, like some dude in China, some doctor in China, or is it Japan, is this close to healing fucking cancer through sound, through frequency.
Really? I haven't seen that.
Seen any of this?
I haven't seen it, but I wouldn't be surprised.
I wouldn't either because, you know, it just fascinates me because there is those frequencies out there that you know about them, 432 hertz.
And on the well, if there's frequencies that do that, you know, which we already know, there's frequencies that cause pure evil, right? There's a reason they got rid of that frequency in music and they put the dark one in there. It does something to you. Even if you don't realize it, it does something to you.
Early morning of July 9th of 1995, Terry woke up and went through his usual morning routine. He went out to check the cattle in the back pasture, this time carrying a cup of coffee. And as he walked toward the cattle, he was really annoyed because he had run out of coffee grounds and his coffee was far more watered down than he enjoyed. But that train of thought was interrupted by a shape on the ground that was very much out of place. And so he quickly picked up his pace and he moved toward it. And as he approached, he knew exactly what it was. One of his cattle was dead and lying on her side in the grass, about 100 yards out from the nearest fence. He slowly approached and he leaned in closer to investigate. Now, immediately, he knew that this was going to be a problem because losing cattle to predators has always been an issue for ranchers. Now, when he began to investigate the cow's body to confirm what kind of predator this was, he was baffled. He couldn't find any blood or indication that the animal was attacked or eaten, like a traditional predator would. And so quickly, he began to look around the carcass, but he could not find any tracks or scuffling marks. I mean, the ground around him was pristine and undisturbed, as if this cow had just been plopped and laid there.
We're paying for the illusion in every way. Whether you're looking at pornography, you're paying for the illusion. If you're looking at social media reality shows, you're paying for the illusion. If you're trying to get new tech that doesn't operate the way it's supposed to. If you think you're going to go in a store and the store is just going to figure out how much you need to pay the store for what you walk out with, it's still in levels of illusion. But that has not been proven, nor have they been proven honest enough to do so. So this is dishonesty. We're selling the idea of something that doesn't work. So here's the lie. This is not seeking out the truth. This is not requiring the truth of everything that you work with. Do you want your clothes to all be plastic? Or do you want the truth of what is natural cotton, linen, silk, and all the variations in between, rayon, all these other things that are made from natural products? Or do you want the lie?
Yeah. And that's why we're here today. This is what, I kill killers. This is what my books talk about.
Okay.
And we're here to kill the killers of Kurt Cobain.
Okay, cool. So who are they?
You want me to name them?
Yeah.
Sure. Dylan Carlson and Daniel Clint Rich are the killers of Kurt Cobain.
Wow. Okay, who are these?
And DC, this is the mirror theory.
Who are these individuals? Initials.
Dylan Carlson was very good friends with Kurt and Courtney. He was a nanny. Oh, no, not the nanny. That's Michael Callie DeWitt and Renee Navarrete. They are the nannies who are heroin junkies.
Yeah.
But they're the nannies. So
for Francis, their
Francis
daughter.
Bean.
Wow.
Dylan was in a band called Earth. He was a rocker. He was kind of known. He was friends with Kurt. He was kind of young. He was younger than Kurt. He was close to Courtney. He was a heroin junkie. He is interviewed in Nick Broomfield's documentary, Kurt and Courtney, if you've ever seen that. And Nick asks him, do you know what happened to Kurt? And he just kind of spaces out and just and bagged all those years ago. He was bagged, but because Nick Broomfield didn't know there were witnesses other than him being at the house, he couldn't put it together.
Right.
He did this on Biggie, and I like to think I solved the Biggie case. Nick Broomfield, I'll say, I kind of know him. I've talked to him before. He's one of the best documentary filmmakers of all time, ever. He's investigative. He did Biggie. He did Kurt and Courtney. He was staring one of the killers right in the face.
Okay,
and
so
he knew that.
Dylan was allegedly the only one in the house.
No, there's 8 people total.
Right, 8 people, but I'm saying he was the only one that was interviewed.
What this guy had to say about the government hiding Nephilim giants in their military bases.
Greg Renrich, that was one of the things that he told me. He's the one that was talking about seeing the giants in the deep underground military bases. He said that one of the first things that they had to do before he was allowed to go into S4 or S20 or any of the others, they made him sign an affidavit saying, you're not allowed to use the name Jesus Christ in these underground facilities, not even if you stub your toe or anything. And he said that he saw 10 to 25 foot tall giants in these underground bases and said that they were, human scientists and other people working side by side with them. He said that they even came right out and said they were the Nephilim. They came right out and said it. Said that, basically we're preparing for an intergalactic war with God, and they believe that they're going to win. Where are they getting this they're going to win from? And why are you not allowed to say the name Jesus in these underground facilities?
Did anyone try to get you to lie on Michael? Oh yes, I've been offered some life-changing money to give a lot of information that I knew was false, but that's what they wanted. I mean, when I say life-changing, it would change my life, but my loyalty to Mr. Jackson was solid, and that's where it remained then. That's where it remains today.
What was they asking you to accuse them of?
They wanted me to solidify the accusations. You know, things like that. Kids, drugs, you know, they just wanted me to say it because they felt that because I worked directly for him, that it would be more believable. But I couldn't speak on anything I didn't witness. They didn't care about that. They just felt because it was coming from me that some people would believe it.
It's a very real thing. It's very spiritual. There's some people don't believe in God, but do believe in the devil. Well, where'd the devil come from? How do you believe in one and not the other? You don't believe evil exists? Will you say sing a prayer in a church and yeah, sure. All right, now we do this devil enchantment and da-da-da-da. No, I ain't doing that. I'm not playing with him. Yeah. You know it's real. So why would he not say, yeah, will you do all this? I'll give you all the desires of your heart, but I'm going to collect that later. And we see a lot of collections happen and happening. We see the collections. And when it's happening, everybody, oh, I can't believe they did that to them. Well, they made that deal a long time ago, and he's here to collect. I think it's a very real thing.
There's no way you get to this without that witchcraft.
I think there's a combination of real magic, manifestation, and hard work that needs to happen for things like this to happen, don't you think?
I think so.
Do you think anyone will look back at 2026 and think that it was the good old days at some point?
A behaviorist can explain the nostalgia paradox, which is that across species, negative consequences fade, but positive doesn't. And so that's why you have your ex that you always want to go back to because you forget how crazy she is, and then you see her, and then you're like, oh my God, I forgot how crazy you were. And why you drink, and then the next morning you say, I'm never going to drink again, and then 7 days later you're drinking again.
Decade of my life.
Right. And so, but like even being cognizant of the fact that punishment fades and reward sticks is helpful for making decisions in the future. I think you can ascribe a good old days, especially on a personal level, to like almost every season of life when you look in retrospect, just because the negative has faded.
The story is he gets shot at that motel, right?
Right.
Then he, dies on the scene, and Jesse Jackson was holding him in his arms, and that was a lie. What happened was they rushed him to the hospital, and then the nurses took him out because he was still alive. But I heard that they cleared the room out.
The pillow, right?
Brought in some nurses.
Right.
Nurses.
Some CIA agents.
And then snuffed him out with a pillow.
Yeah.
Because here's the thing. He knows a lot more than what we know, right? Now, if he was an asset, whoever was funding him, writing his speeches.
Damn, they taking his speeches.
I'm just saying. And then they're saying, it gets wild. They're saying that he was the original Diddy, which is crazy. They're saying that he had freak offs and all this other stuff, and he had power and all this other stuff. Now, we can't verify that.
But it's documented that he was an adulterer.
That is documented. But
they also said that he was getting ready to, stop with the peaceful protests and, join forces with Malcolm X and start saying like it's time to make some changes. That's what they also say too. There's a lot of different, I heard this, I heard that. We don't really know, but I've heard that as well. But I did hear that pillow theory.
I'm willing to bet you the NFL knows why Chris Johnson has ALS, knows why Steve Gleason got ALS, why Tim Shaw, Dwight Clark, Kevin Turner, Tim Green got ALS. And the list goes on. It's because of the field. It's due to the chemicals they put on the field to keep the grass green, the colors vibrant, and the lines crisp. Per Google, the chemicals and carcinogens found in artificial turf, like arsenic, benzene, carbon black, heavy metals like lead and mercury, they are all playing in that, face planting in that, rolling in that, practicing in that, winning in that, losing in that. And even in natural grass, they are putting pesticides, herbicides, fungicides, literal poison in where they're playing. If ALS is not a part of a person's familial history, then one of the risks is due to environmental exposure, like lead, mercury, and agricultural chemicals. And the reason why the narrative is to keep ALS linked to CTE is so the NFL will have no responsibility. It'll be something the player has signed up for. The field was never meant to benefit the worker, only the owners.
I didn't know she was going to go that route with it. I was expecting all the head trauma, but the field, they do spray with chemicals, right? I'm sure they spray with weed killer because weeds would grow in that weed killer and all the paint and and all that. So they'll never come out and say it unless someone does a documentary like that Will Smith documentary that changed the game on CTE, when back in the day they didn't even care, right? We've had NFL players come out and say we used to have bowls at halftime of painkillers, right? We just take them, get back out there, and put our helmets on. So anyways, y'all, hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Made it this far. Leave a like, comment, subscribe, y'all. It's the day after 4th of July. I took a couple days off, right? We're back at it. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. I'm going to get going on my second channel video. We're doing Americans going abroad. So I hope you guys enjoy it. This is Segovia. I'm signing out of the Man Cave. I'm going to see you guys on the next one.